live. Hello everybody and welcome back to the PSGL YouTube channel. We are live from live coverage in Spa-Francorchamps. It's round number 3 of the World Championship in Formula 3 here for the PSGL Formula 3 World Championship in Belgium. It's the Belgian Grand Prix and we are just through qualifying at the moment. I can't see how much time's left because the Sector 3 yellow is still on there and you can't see anything. Great 8 GB update. Thank you, Codemasters. We love it. But anyway, we are back. We are live, and I'm here, of course, with Sam Thompson. Apologies for the 2 weeks missed, but we are here, and I'm here, and it's time to bring you some action with the best of the best in Formula 3.
Yeah, and obviously, of course, the first 2 weeks I did obviously start the comms on my own, but yeah, I am very welcome to be back with Noah, and of course we are getting ready for the final runs. It is very unfortunate we came in late, but it doesn't matter now. We have got some Formula 3 action on our screens, and qualifying looks close as ever. Look at that. The gap between down to P3, down to P11 is very, very close, for example, so expect these final laps to be very crucial for position.
Oh great, my R2 button's not working, so we're just gonna have to do this thing with the select drivers, which I've never done. Wait a minute. Come on. It's not letting me get it. Oh, it is. These guys are in the pits, that's why.
They're all in the pits. That is absolutely wonderful. Nothing's going right, is it, at the moment, to be honest?
Oh, I might switch to my other controller at this point. I have it. At least the R2 button works.
Yeah, well, that might be the better option. If you
that is going to be the option at the moment.
Well, all
apologies, ladies and gentlemen. We're still live, but I will be switching controllers.
Yep, so he'll be back in a minute. Everything just seems to be going wrong, doesn't it? Be on board with, oh, never mind, we're not going to be on board with him for a slight second, of course. It's the controller, since obviously he's switching his controller, but it is getting quite overcast in Spa, so for the final laps the track is going to be a little bit cooler, as I do think Noah's now back.
Yes, and I have a working R2 button.
That is absolutely wonderful to hear, so, yep. Luckily, no one's come out onto their laps, but they're all on out laps, and Lewis is going to be the one for you to watch. He is going to be the first one to start his lap, so I'll let you take us for a ride around this Spa circuit.
We're at Lewis right now. Yep, Lewis is going on hot lap right now. He just came in the turn number 1 there in Belgium, and now he has gone quite a bit far wide, but is still active on this lap. We're going to ride on board with the Scuderia Ferrari driver, who I think... Nope, he is. I'm not sure. I think he's aborted the lap because he's already in 8th gear. Yeah. So, all right, that's not too representative of the lap we'd like to see here. But let's see if we can capture anybody's laps. We have Isaac Kush, who is on a flying lap. He's about to come into a Rouge and then to the top of Radion. And then coming towards the Camel Straight, there's the DRS sign activated just into the kink. And already update gear, coming well over 200 miles per hour before braking into the chicane here and keeping it off the curbs, just clipping the curb a little bit there. The inside curb on the first part of that turn can unsettle the car quite dangerously, and now braking, going down to 4th gear, keeping it very close to the apex, back up the gears, and now coming into the 2nd sector. This is a more downforce heavy section of the track, so you have to wait and see how you've handled your downforce or straight line speed setup, just like we saw in Formula 1, or at least we would have liked to have seen if we had a race. But, just clipping that inside curb there on that first chicane. I think he's aborted this lap. He had quite a bit of unsettling. You can see there that the curbs have a bit of a dip in rather than a more external bump. That was the worst wording I've ever used on commentary. But they do dip in a little bit. It does tend to unsell the car quite a bit. So quite a few drivers have aborted their laps. And I was just riding on board of Sem, but he has not decided that lap is in order for him because he's been warming up the tires a little bit. There is that little dip right there. The Dutch Missile handles it quite a bit better. He's about a time right now in the Aston Martin as he's about to come towards the end of Sector 2. We'll see what the split's going to be for him. And it's a 13.1. And now just the final Sector 3. A lot of straights with a couple of kink turns in these Formula 1 cars today. Not much of an issue to handle these turns at full flat speed. He's about to come up to the old bus stop chicane, but I'm still going to call it that because the other name's stupid. Schumacher in front of him. He unhandles the car himself, though, and almost spins it around. He's going to come to the line now, and he's out! Out of qualifying. That was a massive accident, and I'm not too sure if that was a purely accident for the Dutch Missile. He did not a great attempt at ending out of the wall, but nonetheless, he is out of qualifying, and so is Kryptonite currently in this session. And we have IFR Jensen, who is still on provisional pole position. Tom Robo is in third. Schumacher is in second. And I think we just had another big crash, and we have. And there's a Ferrari that was flipped over a Schumacher. Tom Robo has also lost it at the top of Radion, and there is crashes all around here in Spa, and that should not bode too well for the drivers in the race, especially in that part of Radion. A dangerous corner, both for the league racers and in the real world of Formula 1, as we've seen over this past weekend, as VER Devon's using as much of the track width as possible, riding it right on the grass as he's coming into the second sector. And Kilcry has also retired, and I believe I'm not too sure if he retired in the pit lane. He may have had an accident of his own. I think he may have. And he's out of the session. There's a lot of drivers who are out of the session. I can't see anything because it's all yellow flags on the top. And we have a new fastest lap, and that is Lore in the Shazoo team, who has put up a 140.558. And that currently is your provisional pole position. Most of the drivers are done. I believe it is only Devon who could possibly take pole position away from Lori, just coming out of the bus stop chicane. It's looking like a pretty decent lap, to be fair, and he is going to get pole at the end of the session. It's VER Devon who has shot himself up into pole position. It was a very nice lap. Let's see what that final time was going to be, and it is a 140.470, and Devon has snatched pole away from Lore at the end of the session. He was only near the bottom of the top 10, and he has put himself up on pole. And it is Lore in second position, IFR Jensen in third, fourth for Pat, Schumacher in fifth, Cortez in sixth, Stifler in seventh, probably Stifler, Menno in 8th, 9th for Tom Robo, 10th for Flack, Lewis in 11th, Ablaze in 12th, 13th for Aroka, 14th for Loney, Kilcry in 15th, 16th for Kryptonite, Dutch Missile in 17th, Izak Kush in 18th, and Sem is going to be in 19th in the McLaren. So an exciting end to qualifying here in Formula 3. Devon has put it on pole position here today in the Belgian Grand Prix. A very nice lap to end off the session.
Yeah, and I'm quite sad, though, to be honest, because P2 and P3 had the exact same time. So just imagine if that was P1 and P2 at the exact same time. Very rare we see that, and not so rare, however, is this sight to behold. Rain at Belgium.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to delay the start, unfortunately. I don't believe we're going to be racing here today in Belgium. No, of course, we always race, no matter the conditions, as this is PSGL Premier Sim Gaming Links. If you're enjoying the live stream and you're new to the PSGL YouTube channel, make sure to hit a like on the live stream and subscribe to the PSGL YouTube channel. Hit the notification icon so you never miss a live stream. There's so many races that happen throughout the week, so many amazing divisions in the Formula 1 World Championship in PSGL PlayStation divisions, so many exciting drivers coming up the ranks, and here we are, Formula 3, the start of the big leagues, as many would say, for the drivers in this class, as we have about 20 seconds left until the formation lap. We're going to go over the grid order one more time. I believe we're in what's currently intermediate conditions, given from what I can see from the state of the track. and we will see how the drivers handle it today. Going to be rather difficult, especially at a place like Spa, where there are a lot of places to lose the car. But nonetheless, we will try their best, and there is that singular red light, so we are go for the formation lap. And as I mentioned, just at the end, it is VER Devon who has put himself on pole position here today. He is in the AlphaTauri car, with Lohr in the Haas, currently leading the Constructors' Championship. Lohr in second position. IFR Jensen won the last race in the championship in his intermediate tires, and he leads the championship. He's going to start third, though, in this race. VRT Pat has... well, Sam, he's not VRT Pat anymore, is he?
Yeah, I believe he joined ETA Esports. He's just not been bothered to change his name.
You know, it's £5. I can understand. Nonetheless, Schumacher is in fifth position in the Ferrari. Cortez in sixth, and Stifler in seventh in the Red Bull. Menno in the Williams in 8th, and IFR Tom Robbo, as long as his teammate WR Flack are going to start 9th and 10th in the Alfa Romeo. Lewis in the other Ferrari just missing out on the top 10, with WR Ablaze in 12th position in the McLaren. MNT Aroka in 13th position in the Mercedes. SMM Loney in 14th position in the Red Bull. MNT Kilcry in 15th in the Mercedes. Kryptonite in 16th position. The Dutch Missile in 17th position. He's in the Aston Martin. Isaac Kush is in 18th position in the AlphaTauri. And Sem is 19th in the McLaren. So we have 19 drivers on the grid, all on the intermediate tire, as you might imagine. It is intermediate conditions at the moment here in Belgium. It should cause quite a tricky start for the drivers as they try to get the best traction off the start. But VER Devon has to be quite happy with himself to pick up this pole position here in Belgium. Devon, one of the, I would say, one of the best improving drivers over the past year or so. Of course, I commentated him for the first time in the F5 Championship. He moved on to the F4 Championship. Here he is in Formula 3. It's been a real rising star, in my opinion, in PSGL Devon's story, as he's about to line up on pole position here today in Belgium.
Yeah, very, very interesting story for Devon, of course. He's come from F5 to F4 to F3 and on pole position here today. It's going to be his first pole position in F3, and we're going to see how he does. Of course, he's got 5 points as well this season, so maybe potentially with a lot of time in this championship we could still see him on for a title hunt this season, but we'll have to wait and see.
He is lining up on the right side. That's not the racing line, so it may be advantage to Lohr, who is going to be on the racing line portion of the track. But here we are. We're getting ready for those 5 red lights, and the cars are revving their engines now. We're just waiting for those 5 red lights to come on. It's 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and it's time to bring the action. And the lights are out, and away we go. And it's been a tentative start from the drivers, but it looks like Lohr may have had a good start, but Devon is going to continue to lead in the turn number 1. And they're 3 wide going in the turn 1. It looks like VRT Pat has had a good start, and he's going to be in second position now, ahead just about of Lohr. Lohr ahead of Jensen, who is down the 4th position. Cortez in 5th position, and they're all coming through Radion now in the accidents. It looks like they all got away pretty cleanly here. It looks like VRT Pat now is going side by side of Lohr and may get ahead of him before coming into Lacombe. And here comes Cortez as well. He's going to challenge, and they're 3 wide coming into Lacombe, but it's Devon ahead of Pat, ahead of Lohr, ahead of Jensen, ahead of Cortez, who remains in 5th position. Schumacher waiting in the lanes in 6th position. Not a great start for the Ferrari driver. Menno is in 7th position. Tomo and Flack are in 8th and 9th ahead of Lewis, who's jumped up to 10th ahead of Stifler.
Yeah, brilliant start for Devon though. Second clear already of Pat behind. Pat perhaps doesn't have the pace that obviously the start really put him into second place, but perhaps he doesn't have the pace to keep up with Devon at all. Lohr though falling behind, and he's not even close enough to Pat as well. So for Devon, perfect start. He's got away, and well, he has no cars behind him. So in terms of vision, he's definitely in the best seat in the house right now.
Do I have issues with my mic, Sam? I just wanted to mention, because I did get a comment in the YouTube chat. Is the mic too loud?
Yep, I mentioned also I also mentioned in like one of your on Twitter in messages. So yeah, Mike is a little bit too loud. It's
Okay, I'll be turning that down, guys. So apologies, ladies and gentlemen, for that. Let me just turn this down a little bit. All right, that should be a little bit better.
Yep, sounds absolutely fine. So hopefully
All right, apologies
we'll have
for that,
another
ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, spinner! It's a Haas. It's Cortez. He's gone.
Cortez, and there's we have a big runoff wide. That was Flack, and it looked like Meadow as well, who were getting into it. They had a little bit of a push off, and now on the inside looks to be Meadow on Lewis. Lewis has the outside line, and they're banging wheels. Everybody here is they're all very cobbled up still so far. It's now lap number 2 of this race. I don't believe it's lap number 3 as they're heading up towards the top of Radion again. And a lot of drivers taking a very adventurous line. And here comes Lewis now. He's going to be on the outside of Flack, coming towards the Lacombe chicane. Is he going to have enough to make it around the outside? Very difficult to make a pass. He's still there, and now Flack just gets the better traction, and that's not a particularly great overtaking opportunity. And Lewis now may be under pressure from Meadow, but here comes Tom Robbo. He's going to go on the inside of Meadow, and we're going to see if he can get this move done and dusted. Now he has the outside line. The car is still there. Meadow has it on the inside, and Tomo just keeps 2 wheels on the track, and he makes the move, a nice move from Tom Bravo, and he's up into 8th position.
Yeah, Meadow looking to really get back at that, and Tom Robert coming up another position there, up to P8, of course. Good starts to both Falk and Lewis, of course, up 4 positions early on. Devon, though, still absolutely flying out in the lead there. Law perhaps is going to be a little bit annoyed that Pat hasn't been able to keep up with the Alpha Tauri driver in the lead, who seems to just be flying away with things right now. Tom Robbo has just got past Menno again, it looks like, for some reason. There seems to be an up sort of down sort of thing going on this lap, but that just seems to have happened. But anyway, Cortez right behind. Is he going to put a move on Rattel Stifler, or is he just going to stay behind him? Of course he's going to send it. He really wants to make up positions. Rattel Stifler also, though, goes oh Jesus, has a little bit of a decent moment.
Stifler's into the wall. He is, and Stifler clipped. He clipped the car there of Cortez, and he has been put into the wall. Now he's all the way down at 18th. It doesn't look like he's picked up any damage, which is interesting. I'm not sure if there's any damage on the rear plate, can't quite tell. But Stifler has had a bit of an issue there. I'm not sure if that was a mistake or if he just lost the car a little bit. Nonetheless, he's down at 18th now, and I think Cortez has made a move on somebody. I'm not too sure. It's just showing that he's made a move, possibly. Oh, Tom Robbo, he's had a spin as well. And it's just all going wrong. There is Lewis as well, who's had a spin, and it is just chaos here in Belgium. Drivers left and right spinning out, and there are issues all around for all the drivers. Meanwhile, VRT Pat, as you said, he hasn't quite been able to keep up with Devin, but Lore certainly is keeping up with Pat, and he may be looking to size up a move in the next couple of laps. There's no DRS, of course, at the moment, as we're in wet conditions, but the battery charge stays pretty good throughout the race. So the driver should be able to use overtake for pretty much the majority of the race if it happens to stay in these conditions, but we are not aware if the lever is going to be changing to drier conditions. But at the moment it is fully wet here, and Devin is currently leading by, I believe, still about 1.5 seconds. I apologize, the timing sheets are still broken. Another thing not fixed in the 8 GB update, thanks Codemasters. But nonetheless, IFR Jensen, we do have a gap from him at least, and he is about 0.7 of a second back from 4. And he may be looking to size up the move as they come up. And here we go. Now it's 2.9 seconds. It's even worse than it was before. And Devin is just absolutely running away. It's like a freight train right now, and it looks like, look at the battle we're having in this mid-pack. It's like a NASCAR race almost, as they're all bundled up with each other. And look at this now, maybe a move by the Mercedes of Killcry, and it looks like he may have actually lost the position possibly to Loney. Loney does come behind him for the moment though, as here comes Sem against the Dutch Missile. Right now Sem is the missile in this battle as he almost hits the back of the Aston Martin of Dutch Missile, and now he's coming up to the Camel Straight side by side with the Aston Martin. Who's going to make it ahead coming into Le Combe? Sem now has that outside line, but again, as we mentioned, the Dutch Missile, he has an inside line, just a superior line, but now he almost goes too wide, and he hits the back, he almost hits the side of McLaren, and now the Aston Martin is off track. He does not go into the wall though, but he loses a position in the kill cry, and the gloves are flying off at the moment. It is getting feisty here in Spa. The drivers are not giving anybody any sort of room, but at the moment, it is Sem who's ahead of Kill Cry and the Dutch Missile, who has lost now 2 positions due to that costly mistake.
Yeah, an absolutely despair of a day though for Red Bull at the moment, down in P17 and P18. Definitely not a day for them. Ratil Stifler only having more issues, and Lonnie, of course, going wide to head back to the back of this train. Still battling just up ahead is Lewis and Isaac Kush going side by side. They have sorted out their battle just for now, but I wonder if we will see one of these two come back at each other. Lewis seems to be having a bit of diesel issues. That could be just a me thing, I'm not too sure.
I was actually saying Isaac Kush, he was going for a move on Dutch Missile. It didn't work out for him. He went a little wide. And I actually think that's Lewis is now, Isaac Kush has lost now more positions. Now here comes Kryptonite, and Kryptonite was going side by side with Dutch Missile for a moment there, but he has not had that, and Lewis has left the session. I believe he's had a disconnect, so that is even more problems for the Ferrari driver. But Kryptonite's getting in with this battle here as Tom Bravo tries to go on the inside of Isaac Kush, and he now just gets ahead of one of the Red Bulls. Meanwhile, when we go back up to the top here, the drivers in the top of the positions all separated by about 0.8 of a second. Schumacher back by 0.5 of a second. Isaac Kush picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. But it's staying steadily at the top of the standings here. Isaac Kush ahead of Tom Bravo. Bravo might have been looking for a move, but he's just a bit too far back, and is going to have to stay back for the moment. Kryptonite is trying to size up the Dutch Missile, and he gets a great run now coming up towards the end of Sector 1. Is he going to be able to make it on the inside? Well, the Dutch Missile leaves the door open, which is nice of him, but Kryptonite was never near enough going to be able to make a move on that particular part of the track. And it looks like SMM Lowe has made it ahead of Lewis. Lewis is not reconnected back in the lobby, so fortunate for him. We'll see if he can make it back in and try to pick up some more positions. But at the moment, the real battle right now going on seems to be between Isaac Kush, Kryptonite, and Dutch Missile. This is the battle for 12th position really in this race. And Isaac Kush trying to pick up from his past mistake of trying to get ahead of the Aston Martin and Dutch Missile. It didn't work out for him, and he lost multiple positions, only helped a little bit by Lewis's disconnect.
Yeah, Isaac Kush obviously looking to make up time. He's also had a pretty poor start to the season as well, which he wanted to improve.
Well, now I've lost all my gaps. Oh, they're back.
They're all coming back to me.
Yeah,
they're all coming back, which is
slowly,
fortunate.
slowly but surely, they're coming back. Great, it's okay. We support you, everyone. You keep trugging along.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Anyway, Dutch Missile on the now on the start-finish line. Kryptonite in 13th position, looking, and he's not really able to make a move. Isaac Kush actually may be looking at a better position at the moment, as he's coming up the gears, up the 3rd, now 6th, 7th, and then 8th, coming towards the end of a Rouge to the top of Radion, and we'll see who's getting the better line. Dutch Missile goes very, very wide, and Kryptonite surely now will be looking to make a move. Here he comes in the Alpine, and Dutch Missile's going to move to the inside line. That's smart, but I don't think he's going to have enough. Here comes Isaac Kush, and he almost goes on the middle between the two of them, and there's a big crash, and that is a big kerfuffle, and that is Stifler, who is out of this Grand Prix. Is that going to be a safety car? It is going to be a safety car, and it was Dutch Missile and Kryptonite going side by side. Dutch Missile lost it. They made contact of each other. Isaac Kush couldn't avoid it. Stifler couldn't avoid it. Stifler, unfortunately, has come off worse in that incident, and his wheel has come off, and we're lap 6 of 22, and a safety car has been deployed.
Yeah, and of course everything bundles up again, so all of Devon's hard work has completely gone down the drain now, so the AlphaTauri would have to do the hard work once again. So if that was a virtual safety car, it would have been so much better for Devon. But the fact that it's not is actually quite not a good thing.
Now, the thing is,
But
though, we're on the intermediate tires, so is it smart to even make a stop right now? I also want to mention that it is not looking as heavy as it was before on the track. In fact, it may have stopped raining.
Devon pits.
I think it.
Yep.
I'm not seeing any rain particles on my screen. I believe it has stopped raining. I think we're now under dry conditions in this Belgian Grand Prix. Now, what tire is Devon deciding to go on here as he's going to come into the pits? Let's see what the tire he goes on to is. And it's medium tires, so it's a gamble from Devon. He believes it's time for a set of slick tires. It's still very clearly wet outside, but given you're under safety car, he may be expecting it to go dry towards the end of this. Now, I'm still getting rain particles on Pat's screen, but I was not getting them on Devon's screen, so I'm not too sure what's going on, but it doesn't look to me like it's raining all too heavily out there, and we may see this track start to dry up. But was that a good decision from Devon? Is it a little bit too early to be saying it's time for slick tires? If we go back on board, yeah, there's no rain particles on my screen from Devon. I did see them a little bit on Pat's on board, but that was also a different camera angle. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Lap 7 of 22, safety car deployed. Devon has decided it's time for slicks. Now, will it become dry enough when the time the safety car comes in to see a advantage for him? Yeah,
There seems to be a
ladies and gentlemen, let me show the tire details there, as a few drivers actually went onto the medium tires. M&T Gilchrist, Tom Robo, Dutch Missile, Isaac Kush, Blaze, Meadow, Flack, and Devon have decided to go onto the mediums. Majority of drivers are still on intermediate tires.
Well, it seems to be a bit of a mixture, doesn't it? At the moment, some guys seeming to think that it is wet conditions still, and it's fine to keep the inters on, and some going for the medium tires.
It is.
Right
yeah,
now.
I mean, I'm going on Laura's onboard right now, and it looks like it's still heavy rainfall, and there's still a lot of stuff coming off the back of that
I don't
Mercedes.
think it's raining. I don't think it's raining. I just think that's the spray that's coming onto the camera. Fortunately, I think it stopped raining now, but you can clearly see through this part of the track anyway.
Right, because Blaze,
there's a lot of spray.
Yeah, but see, Blaze is now trying to catch up to the pack. He's 22 seconds back. It is. Oh well, he's actually knocked his front wing already coming out of the pit lane, and it doesn't look like those medium tires are working out too well for him. So I don't know. It might still be a little bit too early. See, on the outboard screens, I'm still getting some particles, and I can't imagine that the rain particles are coming that much off the cars onto the cameras on the side of the track. There's still spray coming off the back of these tires though, so it's still wet enough. But the question is, how quickly will it dry up? It does take quite a bit shorter amount of time for it to dry up versus for it to get wet enough, but I don't know, I'm just not feeling it. I don't think these medium tire riders are going to be too happy. Here comes Lewis. Lewis thinks, I believe he's going to think it's time for mediums, but he's made that pit stop just a little bit later than everybody else. I don't think he's going to gain the same advantage.
No, I think obviously all the medium tires have run up. Have also, been able to get close up to the leaders. But I think the positive thing is, though, if you have made the right choice here to go onto the medium tyres, those at a disadvantage are those still on the intermediates, of course. The problem is that if at the start it is still wet, although perhaps it is a drying track and perhaps you can still take the lead, you've got to battle up Radion, and particularly for someone like Devon and Falk in particular, they'll have intermediate drivers in the intermediate conditions in between them, which obviously could be a bit of a bust up from any of the intermediate drivers, or for Devon, for example, on the mediums up there, because obviously there's just going to be no grip for those medium tyres very early on.
I'd like to mention here, I'm on board with Pat, and there is no spray coming off the back of that Mercedes, nor is it coming off Pat's car. So I think, and it's looking more bone dry than before, and I think that the medium tire runners are going to have the advantage here, and this could be a big
spray again.
See, I think that parts of Sector 2 are okay. Sector 1 looks dry. So I'm not too sure what's going on, but nonetheless, I think overall the intermediate tire runners are going to be at a disadvantage here, or I'm just getting graphical glitches all around, and I can't actually see anything. but it doesn't look all that wet out on track. I think the inters are not the right tire to be on. The mediums are, and I think that any late pit stops here towards the end of the safety car are simply just doubts of reaction. But I think we're going to have another lap here of the safety car unless it's pulling away, which it may be, in fact. I think, yes, I think it is pulling away, and I believe it will be coming in. It will be coming in for a lap, unless Pat is just giving it a lot of room, which I think actually it has.
I doubt it will come in this lap, because Blaze needs to catch up, and so does Isaac Kush. Blaze came back in for intermediates, which is interesting. I don't know why he's done that.
Well, he did have damage on his front leg.
Everyone's in. Everyone's in.
Yeah.
Look at this then. So all the intermediate guys, they've all screwed up this then, because now Falk is going to be P2 all of a sudden, and he was nowhere in the race. So that is an absolute masterclass for Falk, Menno as well, and Kilcree, and Tom Robbo, and Lewis, who I believe has got back into the session. So that disconnect, although it has probably lost him maybe a position from Tom Robbo, he's up to 6th. He's absolutely mastered this. And 3 guys are onto soft tyres as well. Surely they can't make the softs to the end.
I actually, the worst driver to come out of this is Blaze, because he went onto the medium tire but got wing damage, had to come back in. I think he doubted if it was dry enough for those tires. Went back onto inters. Now it's going back onto dries. And it's been truly a terrible display in the past couple of laps for him under safety car, but here we are. It is now dry conditions here in Belgium, and I'd also like to mention that Schumacher, Kryptonite, and Dutch Missile, they've decided to go onto the soft tires. Not too sure how well that's going to work out. We'll have to wait and see. But as you said, and as we can see here, it is all dry tires for everybody at the moment.
Yeah, well, at the moment, obviously, we're just waiting for the safety car to come back in. Of course, for Devon, it's good for him, because he's in the lead of this race, and he won't have any intermediate drivers really struggling in front of him. Excuse me for a second. Oh, dear. Been a long day. But anyway, Falk in 2nd place there. The only problem for Falk, and for Isaac Kush, of course, is they've got penalties. So these penalties could be a big problem for him when it comes to keeping their positions, of course. And Falk has Menno behind him. Menno will be going for it, but Falk, of course, will be going for it because he's got a championship lead to take over in this race, or take back, perhaps, in this race. He won out in Bahrain and then wasn't even here for the next round in France. So, big opportunity, and it looks like the safety car's going to be this lap.
And it is, and Devon is the only driver really of the top drivers in the part of qualifying to stay in a somewhat decent position, as he is still in the lead of this race, and he is now going to control the pack. And oh, look at this, Cortez, he's picked up a 5-second penalty for a collision with Loni. And now Dutch Missile, I believe, as well down there. I think he only has the 3 seconds down there. But nonetheless, here comes Devon towards the line. When is he going to start this? He's still warming up his medium tires, and everybody's getting very feisty there. There's Falk. He's trying to get the best start possible, and I think Devon's already started. Very early start for Devon as he comes into the bus stop chicane, getting the car sped up, and here we go. It is green, green, green here in Belgium, and it's been a great start for Menno. I don't think Falk got the best exit out of the bus stop chicane, and now he's going to get challenged by Menno, who is going to go a little bit too wide to the turn, but now he'll have the run coming up towards the top of Radion. Let's see, can Menno get it up in the 2nd position? Devon has just run away with it at the start here, already up by 0.7 of a second, and here he comes, coming to the Camel Straight. Here comes Menno. He has the inside line on Falk. Falk may just keep it ahead, though. And he, they're going side by side. It's getting very, very close. And no, Falk keeps it ahead. And I think that was going to be the case because Falk just Menno didn't quite get enough on the inside to make a dent into Falk's 2nd position. But here comes Lewis, who's gone ahead of Kilcry. Kilcry trying to keep it on the inside, doesn't make it work out for him. We're all single file line once again here in Belgium. And it is Dutch Missile, who was another 3-second time pony for multiple warnings. He's down there in 15th position, ahead of Loni. who was hit from the back of Cortez. Cortez himself picking up a 5-second penalty. And I think Falk has had a problem. Oh, disaster for Falk, who has had such a great jump there in the safety car. He's had a spin, and he's down in 18th. And he cannot be happy with himself after ending up P2 after the pit stops.
What an opportunity there it must have been for Falk today, and obviously again looking to regain that championship. He hasn't got it, and I don't think Schumacher 1 is going to get it either. He's spun somewhere through Blanchimont. I'm not entirely sure how he has spun through there, whether he's had a bit of contact or whether something else has happened, but Schumacher, he's dropped positions. Doesn't look like he's going to be on for anything special this race after all. Tom Robbo, he's looking to get past Menno. Devon just absolutely flying though out there. 2.2 seconds clear in 1 lap, pretty much. But Tom Robbo, here he comes then. On the Kemmel straight then, he's closing in on Menno. No DRS, but he's definitely got the ERS, but don't use it too early because Menno will come back. But here comes Tom Robbo, he's down the inside, nice and easy on the Williams. All that Williams needs to do now, never mind, not all what the Williams needs to do now, because we've got a safety car again, and it's the Dutch missile this time, who's definitely spun out the exit of Radion.
Yeah, the Dutch missile did have some problems at the start of that lap. He had gone a little wide at the bus stop chicane, and it looked like he was having issues. And Semi, he has retired as well. So Semi is retired on track. I'm not too sure what happened there. It's very weird, but he is out of the race as well. So we are down to 16 drivers right now in this race. We're on lap 11 of 22. And Devon still holds the lead of this Belgian Grand Prix ahead of Tom Robbo. But once again, as we've said many times before, that gap that Devon was able to build is gone because Tom Robbo is going to catch back up and close back up that gap. Now the question is, can Tom Robbo now have the opportunity to make himself a good start? Schumacher and Kryptonite still out there now, the only 2 drivers on the soft tires. We'll have to wait and see if they make it until the end. Devon's into the pits. This is interesting. Is he going onto the soft tire?
That most certainly is, surely.
Now, I don't think this is the right decision. Now, the question is really, how quickly will the softs degrade as he does go into the red wall tire? A few drivers are coming into the pit lane now for a new set of tires. Schumacher did the pits himself, and I think he's actually going on to...
Oh, Kilcree! What's happened to Kilcree here?
He's out.
Wait, what has he done here? What on earth has he done?
I think he's right there. I'm not too sure what happened. That's a weird accident. I'm trying to see if I can see an outboard cam of what's gone wrong with that car, and he's just crashed it towards Radion. That's one of the weirdest accidents I've ever seen here at Spa. But Kilcry is out of it under the safety car. It's been a Grosjean moment for Kilcry, and he is now out of this race, and it's now only 15 drivers remaining.
By the looks of things, it looked like he was just warming up his tyres, and just suddenly he lost the rear end, kind of similar to what happened with George Russell at Imola last year. I'm a bit confused about that. I don't know how he's done that. Well, that's very strange.
Also mentioned Grosjean was replacing his front wing, which is why he made the pit stop on a set of softs. But a few drivers have gone onto the softs. Now, under safety car, when the safety car ends, yes, I can see the soft tire being the optimal tire to be on, but now Devon's in 11th position. That's quite a bit of positions to make up, and these medium tires are just not going to degrade that much. I don't think that was the right call. I think it would have been good just to stay on the medium tire. It's going to be quite the task to say, well, the medium tires are not going to have enough grip compared to the softs. I think the softs are still going to degrade enough toward the end of the stint where the medium tires are the advantage time.
Yeah, I think he's thrown away a win here. I think he's been way too complacent, about his pace, and his pace is very strong. Don't get me wrong, but it's a much different scenario when you're battling through the midfield to when you're battling out front. when you're in that midfield and everything, you've got all the risks of certain things, such as obviously people crashing into you with one thing, and people defending from you as well, meaning you have to stay behind for a lap. In my opinion, this is not a good decision from Devon at all. I think Kryptonite, to be honest, is arguably in a better place than what Devon is at the moment, because with the safety car, those softs are going to go a long way, and Menno also pits. So Menno's he's going to go to the back of the grid, is Menno, and same with Lewis. I don't know why these guys are
at
pitting.
Least with Devon, he's going to be down there in 9th now, but yeah, they're making pit stops, I presume, of course, going onto the soft tires. This is...
they've had wing replacements.
Oh,
I think.
They have.
Yeah, they've both got wing replacements. I don't know what they've done, because I was on board with Menno for the whole lap. It didn't look like he needed his wing replacing, so interesting, I do have to say. But they're out the pits now, they're at the back. But yeah, I still stick to my word. I just don't think I think Devon's been way too complacent about this. I didn't see any need for him to pit at all. He had the pace on the mediums, he might as well have just stayed out in front, built a gap, and won a clear and easy race, and took a well and easy race win. But at the moment, he's got to work himself through it. I understand he wants to work for it, but if he doesn't get the race win and everything, he's going to be absolutely embarrassed and devastated.
That's not what I would say the smartest racing driver decision on the face of the earth. We do like to have racing guys, but I don't think that if you're in the position to win, I'd be throwing it away possibly at any point with a pit stop that's very, very well needless pit stop. So, nonetheless, the only driver on soft tires towards this top pack is Kryptonite. Those are 3-lap old softs, and those surely are going to have to run off quite a bit towards the end of the race. Tom Robbo, though, leads this Grand Prix in the Alfa Romeo. This is a driver that started in 9th position in this race. So Tom Robbo making up quite a few positions. Can he win this, or can Isaac Kush win this one, the former world champion of last season? And safety cars in this lap, and here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see how these soft tire runners go.
I still think we've got a really good chance of a Kryptonite win here tonight. If he makes his way through the grids, this safety car has aided him absolutely perfectly. Those softs should make it to the end. It's just about whether they can hold on till the end. So we've got a good chance to see Kryptonite take his first points of the season and a victory as well, but he just needs to get things done early on. But Tom Robbo, of course, is in the top position. Law's in a good position as well, since he doesn't have a penalty and those ahead do. But it's going to be a very, very entertaining race. Well, it needs to be a very entertaining race for Devon if he wants to win this race now.
See how Tom Robbo takes this restart. He is warming up the tires much more towards the bus stop chicane and going very wide, coming close in there, and now back on the power. And it's been a decent start for Tom Robbo as green flag racing gets underway here. Isaac Kush did not get a great start, and now BRT Pat is going to be on the back of Isaac Kush. Here we go towards the top of Radion, coming into a Rouge now. Looks like BRT Pat did not get a great exit out of turn number 1. Isaac Kush, meanwhile, didn't get it quite either, though. And IFR Jensen is right onto the back of Laura. Loni has picked up a penalty of some kind, and here we go. Aroka has made it past somebody. A Blaze, I think, has had problems, and here we go. On the inside is Falk. On the outside is Falk. Aroka is getting very, very dicey here. I can't quite tell what's happening. I didn't get the best camera angles right there. Jensen, meanwhile, in...
Oh, Devon to the inside of Loni. He's got it done. Absolutely smashing for Devon. He's definitely done what he needed to do at the start. I told you to watch him off the start, and he's done what he needs to do. He's now up to P7.
Oh, just clipped the curve a little bit there. He doesn't want to be doing too much of that, though, on his run up towards the top of the places. And now he's got Kryptonite in sights. Kryptonite on those 4-lap old soft tires now. A driver you predicted is possibly going to be winning this race.
Yeah.
Paul, somebody's had an issue.
I mean, it's gone in the bin now for Kryptonite. That's what I was going about, because he's got himself a penalty as soon as you said the prediction. There's a lot of trouble at the back there.
In its full effect there for Kryptonite. We really jinxed him there. But
yeah,
nonetheless...
Blaze has gone far back, hasn't he?
Oh, look at this now. On the inside is Jensen. He's trying to make it on War. He's now going around the outside to the bus stop chicane. They're still side by side. Now a little bit off track right there was Jensen, but he's still side by side of Lore. Now here comes Devin. He's going to move on to the inside on Kryptonite. Kryptonite tries to give him enough room. I think Devin may have it here. They're banging wheels with Kryptonite. Kryptonite's going to lose that position to Devin. Devin now up to 6th position. Jensen ahead of Lore. Here comes Devin now, coming up towards Lore. Can he make up a position? Coming up into 5th position. It's been a completely amazing restart, and here he comes. He's going to move to the inside. I think he was looking for a dive, but he knows that a mistake will easily put him far down the order. Devin cannot afford to lose that many points. He still wants to have a good run here. Lore, ooh, that was a bit of a double move from Lore, I think, coming into the braking zone there. You can see he kind of swerved the car a little bit to the inside, then back to the outside, and I think Devin got threatened by that one. And that was not what I call the best driving I've seen from the Shazoo driver. But nonetheless, here comes Devin. He still now has the run. He's going to move to the inside lane and a big dive on the inside. And Lore is still there on the inside now into that turn. He pushes off Devin. And now Devin has an inside line again. Is he going to push him wide? No, he doesn't. He keeps it clean and he keeps it nice and he up in the 5th position.
Yeah, but now we've got Isaac Kush. He's weaving about, is Devon. He's weaving about to say that was not good from Law. I'm guessing he's talking about the Brussel's corner, where it was a double move there from Law, and it's actually cost Law another position to Kryptonite. So Kryptonite up to P6 now, but Devon absolutely flying. He's got his teammate ahead. Will his teammate play the team game, or will he go for glory himself? Here comes Devon, though, much quicker tyres. He's going to send it into the corner. He doesn't actually send it as aggressively as I thought he would, but Isaac Kush does obviously let go and doesn't lose any position or time to Kryptonite. So Devon absolutely flying. He's now got 3 more cars to go. Pat has lost a lot of time to Tom Robbo, though. Tom Robbo absolutely flying in the lead. It's going to take an age for Devon to get back up to P1.
Now, Kryptonite did cut a big portion of Radion right there, but he does have the inside line coming into the Lacombe chicane right here, and I believe, yes, he is way ahead of Isaac Kush. Isaac Kush, though, will be looking for a counter-offensive to get it back ahead of the Alpine, but it looked like Kryptonite missed really the apex of Radion and really cut the inside, and he may have to give that position back or drop a position possibly after the race. We'll see if there's any reports there. But it didn't look like Kryptonite really made the corner, and he got a great run on Isaac Kush.
Yeah, Schumacher's out of the session. And look at this, round the outside goes Devon. We don't usually see at this corner go around the outside. He hasn't got it done. That would have been spectacular if he did. But he's really having a go on Pat here. The more time he wastes with Pat, though, the more he has to gain from time. So he must get Pat as soon as possible. He still has Kryptonite as a threat behind, but Kryptonite's still just a bit further behind. But look, here we go. Blanchimont, side by side. This is going to be tricky through here. You don't usually go side by side through there. Very tricky indeed. And Pat didn't make it easy. And oh no.
I think Pat was getting a little touchy with Devon, and you can see there he almost pushed him onto the grass, and then they went side by side into the bus stop chicane, and they made contact. Unfortunately for Pat, he was the man who came off worse, and the man who was in 3rd position at the moment of that battle, now down in 10th.
That's just a tricky one for me, because Devon was not the car in front, it was Pat. But then again, you argue, Pat did not leave much room on the outside. Very overwhelming for Devon, squeezing him really off wide of the track, so it really put him off braking and everything. But then again, at the end of the day, could have Devon just backed out of that, knowing that Pat wasn't going to give way as Kryptonite. So
Kryptonite's had a spin.
Alpine's day has gone from being a very potentially great one to an absolutely shocking one. They've gone from a potential podium, or a potential P4 or P5, to a P9 and P10, and I'm not too sure whether Kryptonite had damage there, but he could be under trouble. He could have a bit of trouble from a blaze maybe in a couple of laps. But also he's on the soft tyres are going to be degrading towards the end, so a good chance for a blaze to get back some points. And well, without a penalty, it'll be really game over for Kryptonite tonight.
Well, here comes Devin though. He's now looking to size up Jensen for a move. As here he comes, it's going to be possibly the same situation that we just had with Pat. Not on the inside, coming towards this little kink here, but now towards the bus stop chicane. It looks like he may try to go on the outside, and Jensen just doesn't fight it. Devin breaks a lot later, and he's now into second position, 2 seconds back from Tom Bravo. But if you look at the detail now for the penalties, they both have 5 seconds, both Devin and Tom Bravo. So at the moment, Jensen's not in a bad position. He may be looking at himself a race winner, as long as he can keep up with the top 2 drivers.
I wonder if Jensen's seen the incident with Devin just behind him with Pat, and I wonder if he's just determined as well as, oh, Isaac Kush is out. He was up for good points as well, so Isaac Kush out, and that's at Ruddy, and that's another safety car.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, you said, well, actually I said it better. But nonetheless, runner safety car here. Isaac Kush has binned it here in the Belgian Grand Prix, lap 18 of 22. And I believe we're going to be having some last lap safety car action here. This throws the whole race into a complete shuffle, as Aroka and Jensen, realistically speaking, at the end of this safety car restart, are going to have the best positions to pick up some great podiums here. Jensen already on the podium. Aroka, though, could be as well, finding himself on the podium.
What a great chance for Lewis, though, because Lewis he has a lot of time to catch up to these guys ahead, and he'll be on the back of these guys. From what looked like for Lewis, pretty much endgame, just get it to the line, seems to have turned into a potential chance for some points. And well, the tyre stage at the moment, the mediums are not optimum, the softs most certainly are not optimum on Kryptonite's car. There could be a few positions here for Lewis, and because we haven't got so many laps left, and Lewis's soft tyres being probably in a much better conditions than everyone else's tyres on the grid, he could really move up a lot of positions here tonight, because there's 5 cars with penalties, 2 of them at the front being 5 seconds, I'm not sure, and also Falk with 6 seconds. Lewis could be actually for a really good shot here, for definitely a top 6 sort of result here, so he'll have to watch out. All the guys in front of him, though, do pit precautionarily. So Pat, Kryptonite, and Blaze, they'll obviously go on to fresh soft tyres. So they're feeling a little bit lucky, and they're going to try and gamble to get back to the front, rather a different way to what you usually would have supposed.
Well, Tom Bravo, though, leads this race at the moment ahead of Devin. Jensen in 3rd, Aroka in 4th. Those 2 drivers are looking in some very good position up, so possibly Aroka up into even 2nd position, possibly, given that Devin's and Tom Bravo's penalties are 5 seconds long. So they are quite a bit longer than your average 3 seconds, and that could give Jensen and Aroka the opportunity to pick up a very nice position here. Now, the big thing here is Lewis has pitted again. Now, we're probably going to have at least 1 more lap, maybe even 2 more laps. We could be looking at a penultimate lap and last lap safety car end here, or even possibly end of the race safety car. I'm not too sure, but it's going to be very, very interesting here in these final couple of laps in this Belgian Grand Prix. Who is going to pick up victory? Who is going to pick up some nice positions, given we have a lot of penalties in this grid, but only 11 drivers remain. Lewis is the only driver right now who is out of the points.
Yeah, so Lewis outside the points, but like I said, due to everyone else having, well, most people having a penalty on this grid, or pretty much half the grid having a penalty on this grid, it's a brilliant opportunity for him. But safety car, I do know this game, safety car could be in this lap, which for Lewis would be a bad thing, because he's still catching up, and obviously he would be able to close up enough at that point. I'm just waiting to see if the safety car will be in this lap, and whether Lewis obviously can catch up. He's still got time to, but he's going to be absolutely running to get up with them just in case. And I'm just waiting for that man. Yeah, it looks like he'll be safe. One of the Alpians have actually moved back. That's Kryptonite. He's gone back a little bit. I wonder if he's trying to suggest something different. And, well, unfortunately, it's something we don't like to see. We'll have another safety car lap. So it really is going to be a sprint, isn't it, at the end of this race? So for these soft tyre drivers and everything, they've really got to put in basically 3 qualifying laps now.
Not even. It's going to just be really just 2 qualifying laps. Only have lap 21 and 22 to finish off this race. Because lap 20 is still going to be under safety car. So,
oh yeah,
it's a real super sprint here for 2 laps to try to complete this race. Now, is everybody just going to keep it calm and collected, or are we going to see some rather daring moves for position gains? We'll have to wait and see. I expect some guys in the back may be doing so, but really for Tom, Robbo, Devin, it's really in their best interest. It would be rather they don't fight and just try to gain as much time as possible, as to not lose any more positions than they have to.
Yeah, well, one person's not going to score any points here this evening. That's the thing. I think that one person, it doesn't want to be them. So all the guys like Pat and Kryptonite in particular, they will be literally feasting. Well, they should be feasting on looking to get past position. Same with Blaze and Lewis, of course, but these two in particular in the Alpine. Alpine's not exactly had the start to the season they exactly would want. Pat has scored points for them, but Kryptonite perhaps struggling a little bit, looking to get his form going. So he would really want points, and right now in the positions he's in, he's not getting any. So expect to see him looking to move up as quickly as possible. I think Falk could be the one in trouble in this case then scenario. Just depends on how quickly these soft tyre drivers at the back can dispatch everyone ahead of them, and it can actually be more difficult than perhaps you would believe. So we'll just have to wait and see. With those 4 drivers at the back, definitely will have the pace, grip and every sort of advantage they need.
Oh
to
my goodness! Tomo has spun it! Oh my goodness! What a crazy restart here it's gonna be. Tomo has just seen the safety car come in. He went to have a bit of a wheel spin moment there. Tom Robbo has had a crazy spin, and he is down in plumb last in this Grand Prix. Lewis up into the points, no front wing, and I think he may just retire from the Grand Prix. That is one of the craziest ends of a safety car I've ever seen, but nonetheless, Devin is back in the lead here with just 1 driver now with a 5-second penalty. Aroka is up into the podium, Jensen in second. Jensen is looking to pick up the victory here. Aroka may even get 2nd position. Here we go now. It is green flag racing. Devin leads the Belgian Grand Prix. He is waiting quite a fair amount of time to get under racing. He gets a great restart though. Here comes Aroka onto the outside of Jensen. Jensen has the inside line. Aroka still has the grip, but he just runs out of room. And here comes Jensen now. Can Jensen find a way past him possibly even towards the end of this race, or is Devin going to run away with it possibly and see how much time he can gain? But here comes Falk now, who is up the 4th position, maybe looking to pick up a podium nonetheless on Aroka. He does have a penalty though, and ooh, he just can't find a way. Aroka and Jensen are side by side, and Aroka has made it past, and here comes, there's another big crash, another big accident. Who was that? I think that was Falk who is off track, and yes it is, and it's been a disaster for Alfa Romeo now. And here is Jensen as well, who makes it past, and it has been absolute scenes here at the end of this race.
Yeah, look at the 2 Alpines. Look how far they've come up the grid. It's such a shame they've got penalties. What the penalties they've got, though, is both 3 seconds. So if they have had some sort of thing where they can get rid of them, then potentially it could be a day to remember for the Alpine boys. They're up to P4 and P5 now. I reckon they could still get a P2 here. On the track, Pat is getting very close to Cortez, and with an extreme advantage in terms of grip. Pat could have been in a really, really good redemption sort of position. It's just that penalty has really destroyed it, but at least both of them won't be getting no points here today. Maybe even the fastest lap point is coming, but here comes Pat. Look at that. So much grip there, but he could even be in trouble here, and so could Kryptonite, in fact, because Law's coming back at him, 3 wide, into the source we go then, and Lewis, thank you very much for both of them. They've both been battling, and Lewis takes P5, and at the moment, Lewis, from what we looked at before that safety car, almost inevitably he would have finished P11. He's now on for a podium position. This is absolutely incredible.
The only driver in the top 4 is Hiroka, who is in second position. He is now looking to pick up the victory here. And I couldn't imagine in Hiroka's mind he was thinking of winning this race, but Devin is up by 1.5 seconds only. It's lap 22. It's the final lap of this Grand Prix. Hiroka could be looking at a victory here. And as you said, Lewis looking at a podium. Or even possibly could be looking for a podium as well, though it's a little bit of a long shot there, even with the gaps. But it is absolute scenes here. Lap 22 is bringing everything here in Formula 3, and Hiroka, as long as he can just keep it on track and keep it with Devin, he's looking for a victory here.
Yeah, it should be an easy victory for now for Hiroka. However, a small mistake, if he is on 2 warnings, he gets a penalty. That could be the race win over, and Lewis obviously would be in the prime position to win it. But anyway, it does look like Hiroka is going to take the victory. On track, of course, it's going to be Devin. We're not too surprised about that, I do have to be honest. However, Devin, we did say that perhaps he's being a bit complacent. We do have to agree now, if he doesn't get this race victory or doesn't get that 5-second removed, it is definitely complacency that's killed him. And you know what? Lewis has been destroyed as well. He's down to P8.
Goodness! He's been unbelievable! Here comes Hiroka who wins it! Devin stays on the podium. No, he doesn't. A Blaze up into second, Law into third, and Devin down to 5th. Lewis has binned it at the end. Oh my goodness, the scenes too. It's WRO a Blaze, who I couldn't think expected to be on the podium, but he is. And MNT Hiroka in first, and Lauren third. Unbelievable at the end.
Wow. I mean, someone in the chat just said that Lewis is the most lucky man of the night. And seconds later after he said that, Lewis ends up spinning. So I don't think he really got too lucky in the end. But yeah, that is going to be distraughtful for Lewis. What looked like a most certain P2. It's not even a podium, is it, for him? So for Lewis, he's going to be feeling a bit distraught about that, how he didn't get himself a podium. But for Hiroka, we didn't see him do much in this race, but he does come with a bit of support, and that support has guided him in the end to victory in his Mercedes. So brilliant job there from the Frenchman, and 2 Italians as well, to mix it up on the podium as well. I think that's a Blaze as well, a driver who also looked like at a point he would have not been anywhere near this sort of position. There we go, Blaze P2 from what looked like 5 stops he made. 5 stops he made in this race, and he finishes out P2. That's absolutely incredible from WOR a Blaze there. Absolutely. I really would love to see his full race, how it went, because there must have been moments where he was in complete doubt in this race.
Lore finishes in 3rd to round off the podium. Pat in 4th. 5th for Devin, Cortez in 6th. 7th for Kryptonite, Jensen in 9th. Lewis in 9th position, Jensen in 8th. Falk rounds off the top 10. And it is just one more finisher, and that is Tom Bravo in 11th. The rest down the order, all out of this race. That's Isaac Kush, Lodi, Schumacher, Menno, Kilcry, Semi, Dushmissel, and Rattel Stifler are all out of the Belgian Grand Prix. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. I believe we can be getting into some podium interviews now with our top 3, if we can invite them into the party. But that is it for the race, and that was one of the craziest Belgian Grand Prix I've ever commentated on. Uh-oh, I don't think I can
Yeah.
exit.
Hold on, I'll see if I can get them in.
Well, I can't
I
exit.
don't know if I can.
Yeah, I can't exit out of the screen. This is a great game. 8 GB update. Thank you, Codemasters. We love it.
Yeah, we absolutely do. And they wanted to shut down League Racing, didn't they? And League Racing has just provided us a great race tonight, and you know, a very unpredictable.
Oh, we only need
race
the Pro
tonight.
Series, guys.
You know.
We don't need this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's irrelevant. You know, all the drivers are bad.
Drivers. Only the pro drivers.
Yeah. Well, how are you going to
people
make
don't
pro
play the game.
drivers? How are you going to make pro drivers? That's my question.
Career
I do have to
mode,
ask.
duh. What's that? More career mode features.
Interesting. So obviously, people who sweat out career mode are going to get to esports.
Yeah,
Suggestively. Right.
TM
I cannot
Mario.
add some people because of the settings. I don't know which one it is. It looks like it was a Blaze. So a Blaze, obviously, his settings don't allow us to add him, unfortunately. We may get the other two though, Orica and Law.
You're gonna have to listen to the F1 theme song the whole time because I can't exit out of the screen.
Well, we have Law, and then so F1. I'm not sure if Orica's going to join us then.
Alright, well, we'll start off with Floor, who picks up the 3rd spot on the podium. Welcome in on the podium places. It was a crazy race, and I don't know if you expected to find yourself on the podium at the end there, but talk us through that very unpredictable rain, dry, crashes, crazy Belgian Grand Prix. Yes. And Sam, any questions for our men in the 3rd spot?
Not really, but of course, congratulations on your podium. It was an epic race to watch over in the end.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was your Belgian Grand Prix. Your top 3, MNT Aroka, WR Ablaze, and Shazu War. And thank you so much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. That was live coverage of round number 3 of the Formula 3 World Championship in the PlayStation Division for PSGL. You can like the stream and follow us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, and also subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell so you never miss a race or live stream from the PSGL YouTube channel. My name has been Noah Clark. I was joined by Sam Thompson in the commentary booth. You're watching PSGL on YouTube for the PlayStation Divisions, and thank you so much, and have yourselves a wonderful night.